Boys and girls, do you like stories? Well, I'm not going to tell you one. No, I will. I'll tell you a story. All right, good. I want that enthusiasm all the way. That's great. It's a long time ago in a place far, far away. A place very different than our place, a very magical place. There lived a man named Shaddai. Shaddai was a very, very kind man. He had a big old beard, very handsome man, a lot like Father Wayne. And Shaddai, he made this place, this home, and he absolutely loved children. So he made this place for the children. And there were beautiful ponds that they would swim in all day long. There were tree swings. There were flowers they would go and sniff around at. There was fruit trees that had the most delicious fruit you could ever imagine. And so he made all this for the children. And Shaddai would love to sing to the kids. And they would gather around, and even the squirrels and the butterflies and the birds, they would all come to hear him sing. For one so small, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. And the kids would follow him around everywhere, whenever he was going to the meadow, if he was going to the workshop, his wood shop where he made. They would love to watch him make, tables out of trees. They would put their little hands over his big one as he was standing down on the top of the tree. They would follow him around everywhere. And every night he would gather them to himself, and he would tell them stories and jokes. He was a great joke teller. They nicknamed him Mr. Reindeer because he slayed the kids every night. Knock, knock. Dexter. Dexter halls with boughs of holly. Do you know why Santa's little helper was so sad? Because he had low elf-esteem. Ha 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 ha. Shaddai would laugh, they would love his laugh. Ha 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 ha. And because Shaddai loved these kids, and they, each one of them, all they had to do was call out to him, he would be there. They all had his heart by a string. He built, because he loved them, the wall. He built the wall. And every day he would take huge rocks and he would carry them, lug them all over the place, and he would build this wall. And this wall would go all around his town. And when he was building this wall, he was never seen. In fact, he would look off on the other side of the wall, and there was a deep, dark forest there, with thorns and thistles, with scary creatures, with pits. And he would often tell the kids, this is no place for you to ever go, that you weren't made for that. You were made for staying here. So you have to promise me never to go. So once you go, you can never come back. And so he built this wall, and when he laid the very, very last stone in this huge wall around the place, he went back to his wood shop, and he carved for himself a staff. And he set that staff in the corner of his wood shop, thinking, maybe one day I'll need this. And then one day, as he was working in that wood shop, one of those kids, Peter, came rushing in. One of those kids, Peter, came rushing in. Shaddai. And he said, the wall. What? I found it. An opening. It's a large opening, sir. Someone could crawl through it. I knew you would find it, Peter. But tell me, how did you find it? I was walking along the wall, searching for... Searching for holes? Yes, I was looking for holes. so you could see out into the forest.
I was curious, Shaddai. I wanted to know what is so bad out there that you won't let us go.
Peter, you have to promise me that place out there that you were not made for there. I wasn't made for there. If you go out there, there's no way to come back.
You'll fix the hole then?
No, I can't. I made the hole because I love you very much.
You broke the wall, but you just said you didn't want us to leave.
I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay with me. But I left an opening when I built it because I love you.
But unless you fix it,
then children might crawl out, yeah. But I don't want you to stay here because I'm forcing you. I want you to stay here because you want to stay here. And Peter left, confused, but he looked back. Because Shaddai, I think, knew where he was going, and Shaddai reached out his arm. But Peter looked away and wandered off, just to about right here. And so Peter was wandering, thinking curiously. And he was wondering to himself, what if I just take a peek? What if I just look out there? That can't harm anybody. And in fact, he thought, what is Shaddai protecting me from? Or worse, what is Shaddai keeping me from? And so he decided right then and there, to walk over to that wall, right up to where the hole was. And he got down on his hands and his knees, almost his belly actually. And he began to crawl through that hole. But the hole was this way. He began to crawl, and he got right out, and he could peek his head outside. And he saw the forest, and he thought, oh, it doesn't look that scary. In fact, it looks kind of nice. And so he crawled a little bit more, just to see a little bit more, and pop, he popped right out of that hole. And he stood up. And he saw this forest again, and he thought, there's nothing scary whatsoever about this forest. And so he walked even deeper into the forest. And the twigs, they broke beneath his feet. The calm wind was blowing through his hair. In fact, the birds, they had a beautiful tweet. And then he kept thinking to himself, this place does not seem bad at all. And then he said for the very first time in his whole life, maybe Shaddai lied to me. And so he thought, I'm going to go tell all the little kids how great this place is. And so he rushed back to that wall. And he ran into it. And he got to that wall, but there was no more hole. And he ran 12 feet up the wall one way, and there was no hole. And he ran 12 feet up the wall the other way, and there was no hole. And he began to think to himself what Shaddai had said, that once you go out, there is no way back. And he began to just fall. Maybe put his head between his legs and start crying. Like bawling his eyes out crying. But then he thought to himself too. He said, Shaddai said other things in life. He said, I will always love you. And he said at other places, if you ever start crying, I'll be here. And he thought to himself, I wonder if he would ever come find me. I wonder if he would even hear me if I yelled. And so Peter, amidst all those tears, yelled out, Shaddai, I'm so sorry, I didn't listen. Please come help me. And Shaddai Shai heard that prayer. And in fact, he heard that prayer long before Peter even prayed it, because he knew where Peter was going when he left that wood shop. And Shaddai had turned to his workman's table, and he took off his apron, he put his tools away, and he got that staff. And he said, all right, it's time for my journey. And so as Peter was bawling his eyes out still on the other side of that wall, Shaddai was there, slowly moving stone after stone after stone. And Peter at this point, because those trees got scarier and scarier. In fact, he started hearing noises like, and they got dark and darker. He hid in a bush. He was scared to death. But when he peeked out from the bush, all he saw was Shaddai now, crawling through on his hands and knees, crawling through that wall, crawling like a little baby to find him. But he was hidden in those trees, and he began to think to himself. He thought to himself, do I want to be found? Do I want to be found? What if he's angry? What if he's mean? What if he yells at me? What if he punishes me? Do I want to be found? And he thought to himself a long time, but he thought, it'd be scary out here. So he jumped up so that Shaddai could see him, and he called out, "You've come for me. You really love me?" "Oh, Peter, you know I love you. In fact, I would allow my arms to be outstretched forever to show you how much I love you."
"Can we go back now?"
"No. We can never go back. Remember what I said? But I'll tell you what, I have a place planned for you that is even better. It'll be a long journey, but come follow me. And from now on, don't call me Shaddai. Call me Emmanuel. For God is with you." The end. Yeah, it seems that they liked you. Boys and girls, Christmas. God comes all the way down to us. And he wants to get into our lives. He wants to get into everything about us. Our happy times, our sad times, our good times, our bad times. He wants into our life. And so I want you to think about this question. And I want all the older people to think about this question too. Do I want to be found? Do I want God to find me? What do I mean by that? Well, I think sometimes, some days I just don't want to pray. What am I doing? I'm hiding from God. Some days I just don't want to read my Bible. I'm hiding from God. Some days I just don't want to come worship. I'm hiding from God. And so the question is, do I want to be found? And this is my promise for you boys and girls. This is my absolute lifelong promise. The greatest adventure your life will ever be is if you let yourself be found by God. You're found in prayer, in church, if you let yourself listen to God when he talks to us in the Bible, and if you let yourself live in God, when you love your brothers and sisters. So I have a Christmas present for you. Is that okay? Can I give you a Christmas present? You want to pass them out for me? Will you pass them out? And if there's any kids who are too scared to come up, I'll just leave them right there. You can get one afterwards. But you'll see on the front of this, do you know who is on the front of this? Who? Who? Jesus? Do you say Jesus? God? God, Jesus, good. Very good. Jesus is God with us, right? Emmanuel. God with us. And the other person can be any children, any child, like you. It could be you. Crazy. Could be you. And so I put a little prayer on the back, and I stole this prayer from the back of a Bible. And people were asking me on Sunday, because I held this Bible up on Sunday, it's the Catholic Children's Bible, so I put the name of it on the bottom of the prayer card. So in case you still are looking for a good New Year's gift for your kid, by the way, doesn't lead you astray. Did everybody get one? You didn't. That girl did not get one. Did you get one? Oh, okay, good. All right, how about we end my homily by praying this prayer together? Deal? So let's get on our knees and we'll pray to Jesus. So together we pray, O most merciful Redeemer, friend and brother, in reading my Bible, may I know you more clearly. In praying to you, may I love you more dearly. And in loving you and my brothers and sisters, may I follow you more nearly, forever and ever. Amen. Merry Christmas.